Welcome to True House Stories. I am Lenny Fontana coming out of the NYC. Those that know how much I love my city, I'm going to put that on pause for a moment, talk about another windy city. Windy City! Remember that song, right? Windy City! And we are going right to one of the best of the windy cities, Chicago. We're focusing our spotlight. We're going to the west, next to Indiana, Wisconsin, and Chicago, Illinois, to bring up one of the best in the game. A true brother. I can actually call a brother. I've worked with him, been on the road with him. I've experienced working on records with him. He is what I call one of the nicest people I know in our game. Talented like you. Oh, man, talented ain't the word. Ridiculously talented, like ridiculously talented. Singer, producer, record label owner. You name it, done it all. Organized festivals in Chicago. He's playing every week. And he is a minister of sound. And when I say minister, I mean a real, true minister of the sound. I'd like to introduce up to the stage, no other the incomparable, Ron Carroll.
Wow. I'm going to have to send you a cash app or sale immediately.
No one gets introductions like I get, brother.
What's up, everybody? What's good? What's good, Lenny?
We're living, brother. We're making it. We're missing all each other. We're trying to somewhat do normal things. And I don't want to say where you are right now. I'll let you tell the general public around the world. You know, catching Ron ain't an easy thing these days. He's everywhere in Chicago.
Man. Right now, I'm with Dad right now at an eye care facility. So Dad's getting his eyes checked. I'm doing an interview. Let's go.
Good. All right. We'll get right into it. Mm-hmm. Big Ron, for the people out there been wondering how come you haven't traveled or whatever, across the ocean, whatever's going on, let us know where you're up to with COVID. How have you been handling COVID? I know you've been DJing a lot and stuff.
Yeah. So. Well, I'm going to say this, Lenny. I was always told in whatever situation that you're in, that whatever reality that's around you, you create your own reality within that reality. So for me, it's been a paradise because we've been able to express ourselves still musically to the people here in Chicago, as well as the world when we did our lives through Les Nocturnes. When we were doing our live shows, I would drive up there every single day to just try to give the message of music to people. You feel me? So it's been beautiful, brother. At first, I'm not gonna lie. At first, it kind of shook me up. Excuse me, kind of shook me up, and my mind was like, man, is this it? You feel me, Lenny? You get that little feeling, like, is this it? Is everything about to stop? Is this the end of it all? I had that thought for a little bit. But then after that, I settled in and I said, let's go. Let's go. We're going to keep it cracking.
Yeah, because you know what? It's either that, do or die or bust. I always say it's because either one or the other. It's like either we're going to get there and still. I mean, I'll be honest with you personally. I lost the steam for just a moment because my plans were completely changed. And I know you must have felt that same feeling. It's like someone, like, for example, helium balloon, and they just went pop and it just poof for a minute.
Right. Exactly. And am I pausing over there? You still seeing me?
No, we're good. We're hearing you. Go ahead. We're hearing you. You're pausing.
Okay.
Everybody's on location. Yeah. Everybody's on location.
And I'm gonna tell you, man, that's what happens. It knocks the wind out of you for a minute, and then after that, you say, "Okay, this is what I do. It's crisis time, but let me get back into my head. Let me get back into my creative thought. Hence, your show that you're doing right now is creative thought within a situation. So you took advantage of that situation, and I love what you're doing. I love it, brother. It's beautiful. It's actually catapulted you to the world more than I've ever seen from you. So you're blessed, bro. We're blessed in this. Got to keep doing
Yeah,
what we
so
do.
that's how I said. I kind of said I took a dark moment and brought light to the table. That's how I.
Absolutely.
But enough about that. Anyway, we're all good. People want to hear. How does it all begin for you? Where does this music thing start for you as a young lad? Young guy, young kid.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Like when I started it, it was basically of wanting to be accepted by people. I always had this self-esteem, this low self-esteem issue when I was growing up, never feeling a part of things. So I remember going to a high school dance, and I think a lot of people in Europe may call it middle school. And I went to one of the dances, and I saw this DJ playing for the dance. So we're all in our socks because we call it the sock hop. So we all in our socks, we're dancing, and I'm looking at this guy, and everybody's around him. They're dancing, hands are in the air, they're whistling. All the ladies was there. I said, "Yo, I watched that guy all night. I didn't get any punch. I didn't do. I just sat and stared at this guy, and I remember saying to myself, "That's what I want to do." Because I want people to, to like me and accept me. And I said, I'm gonna use this to to catapult that. And I think that's how it started with wanting to be accepted, and that's what took it off for me.
So when you said sock hop, you truly meant like a true sock hop. You guys dance with socks on, no sneakers,
With
no.
socks on, yeah, no sneakers. Take your shoes off at the door.
Because they don't
Exactly.
know that stuff in Europe. They don't know when we talk when they say sock hop. Like what? What's that mean?
No, no, exactly. And
So
it
you
was
saw the
fun
DJ.
too, bro.
So you saw the DJ playing. Do you remember who? Who was that? A neighborhood guy? Or was that somebody that was famous?
Well, during that time, it was a guy named David Harrison. If I mention his name today in Chicago, people are like, I don't know what you're talking about. But back then, David Harrison was a popular guy. And he came, and I just saw the way he did the turntables and the records. And I said, wow. I said, this right here is going to get me in the door, bro. I'm going to have the ladies on the arm. You know what I mean? I was feeling the whole little vibe. So yeah, that's what started Ron Carroll to want to be a DJ. That part right there.
So musically speaking, um, being trained, are you
Yeah.
have you been formally trained in an instrument besides singing and all that?
Well, yeah. Actually, I can play about 6 instruments, and so the saxophone, clarinet, the flute, the trumpet, the French horn, and the trombone.
Very
Yeah.
talented. See, now a lot of people don't know that unless they worked with you.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. So I could play those things, and I used to own the horns, but over time, you'd be like, "What happened to the horn I had?" I'd have probably sold it. Once I started DJing, that part of me kind of took a back seat. But I'm starting to revisit those instruments now, get my chops warmed back up.
Is there a particular reason why you're starting to feel that you need to revisit them?
I think life is weird, Lenny. Sometimes you let go of things, and then as you begin to learn life, experience it, and you become to master your own lane in life or accept your own lane, a lot of those older things come back around, and you begin to want to dive back into those things again,
Yeah,
and,
right.
and that's what happened with me. Yeah. That's what happened.
they start scratching at you in a funny way, right? It's like they come back at you.
Yes.
Yo, I need you in my
Yes.
life. It's like that movie with I can't remember. It was like, yeah, Gail, I need Jesus and I need you in my life.
For sure, bro. For sure. For sure.
So from the middle school to high school, this all starts to take off. Paint the picture of what the era was like around you. Was house music prevalent yet, or was it pre? What was going on?
No, it was definitely pre. It was definitely the building point. People were just being, it was songs coming out, records, and it was just a new exposition. You kind of like went on these record store expositions to find, and it wasn't only house, bro. It was new wave. It was industrial. It was disco. It was like everything at that point. House wasn't fully the main thing, but it was a mix of everything. And that's what was great to me about those times, because we would even take a rock song, bro, and play a rock record. Look at this. Why is my phone ringing? See, this is the thing I'm talking about, lady.
You can't pick up the phone right now.
It doesn't stop, bro.
You got to keep that phone off, because otherwise we'll lose you.
I'm not going to pick it up.
But actually, your videos kind of stuck a little bit on you holding and pointing at us. But we're glad we can hear you.
Is that what's going on right now?
Yeah, it's stuck. Your videos.
Wow, bro.
But anyway, we're able to hear you. That's okay. So now, okay. So when you say rock, what kind of rock record are we talking about?
Bro, I was into Kiss, Iron Maiden, Black Sabbath, AC/DC. Listen, bro, I was into all of that. And I had the posters on my wall. When you're a kid, you share your bedroom with your brother or your sister sometimes. So I shared it with my brother. And my side of the wall was all of these rock posters. And he told me he used to scare him when we were younger. He used to look over there and see the Iron Maiden.
Right, because those posters were skulls and skeleton looking. And
yes, man. And it was so fun, bro, back in those days, just to explore music in a virgin type of way, where, you didn't know about it, you didn't understand it, but it just made you feel a certain way. And that's the best part of it for me. And it made me more open.
Yo, that's categorized as glam rock, if I remember correctly.
Are you serious, bro?
Well, remember some of those guys were getting fully dressed up, with makeup and all. The posters were the only thing scary about it. The music was great. Don't get me wrong, the music was dope. But if you remember, MTV was fresh. It was fresh, and they were all over it. And they were with those spandex pants.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They were, bro. They were. But what's weird, Lenny, we really did. I mean, I know I can't speak for anybody else, but for me, I didn't really look at it as a bad thing. I just thought it was their way of just doing it. Like, it wasn't something I wanted to do, but I just thought it was just them and their moment.
You can hear
living their moment.
Right. You can hear songs like, I want to rock. God, dude. I want to rock, dude. Yes, and the girls would go nuts. They would
That's the key.
Right? That's just crazy.
That's the key. That's the key, lady. I think for all of us, man, back in the day, it was, with brothers, it was how the ladies reacted to it. If the ladies reacted, we were there. We wanted to be a part because the ladies reacted. Yeah.
That's right. And even the guys, everybody, you saw the crowd go nuts, and you were like, yo, how do you make this? How do we get that to work with where we are, right?
Exactly, bro. Exactly, brother.
So now between playing all the clarinet and all the horn parts, and I can imagine you did high school band and all that, because I can imagine that's probably what happens. You're in high school band, the whole thing, and your chops and all that stuff is going on and on and on.
Yes, sir.
Take us on to the point now where you start to DJ and you start to find your way through this Chicago fierceness that was going on around you, because a lot of competition going on, right?
Oh my God, bro! Listen, competition is the main thing that we were built off of. We were built off of competition. So years ago, Chicago was well known for doing basement parties. So people would have certain basements at their home, and they were popular for how dope your basement party was. Okay, am I
You're
still
still
there?
with us. We're taking it all in. Go ahead.
Okay, my brother. And this because I'm at this hospital clinic, just making sure. So with the basement parties, you had people who were known, like, oh, if you go on Oglesby, it was a block called Oglesby. Man, Oglesby be rocking. You know, that's where all the big parties at. It's on Oglesby, right? And then another one will do one on a block called Bennett. Oh, you got to go to Bennett. That's what so it was like that. So what I tried to do, me and my brother, because we started DJing at the same time, I said, okay, we're going to throw one in our basement, right? So we got the turntables, we got everything set up. We threw a party in our basement. So we were the block on Euclid. Said, okay, we going to be the best party on Euclid. Bro, none of us could really play. Our blends were garbage, right? So we sit there trying to play. People looking at us like, dude, like, no, man, like you guys got to practice some more, bro. Like, this is awful. You feel me?
Wait.
And
Come
I'm
on,
like,
because you guys thought you were the bomb. I bet you probably thought you guys were like the bomb, the tiggity bomb. Right?
oh, brother, we had capes on our back. To us, we were superheroes. Okay,
You were like Captain Marvel, the
and then you
greatest
get
ever.
that, right?
Meanwhile,
And we love the reality checks.
meanwhile, you had trucks and helicopters crashing up in that spot, right?
Absolutely, bro. We had plane crashes, bro. It was crazy. It was horrible. And so people were laughing at us, bro, like literally laughing. And they walked out of the party, like in laughter, like, guys, stop. Don't do this again. You feel me? And my brother that was with me, he was like, you know what? He was more of a ladies' man. So to him, DJing was cool, but it wasn't serious to him like it was to me. Like it was, I was like, I need this. This is the only thing that's going to make my life better. You know, I was in that mode. You feel me? And
I get it. I totally.
so I was like, yeah, I'm practicing like crazy, going. And this guy, when I started to get better, he wanted to battle me. And this is when I found out about the DJ battles, because this guy was at my school. He was like, "Yo, Ron," we were in the hallway of the school. He said, "Yo, Ron, I'm throwing a party this Saturday in my basement, and I want to battle you." I said, "Oh, snap!"
Right. Oh,
So
snap. Right.
right, I'm like, "Oh, you want to?" So I didn't want to look like no punk, Lenny. I didn't want to look like no punk. So I was like, "Yeah, no problem, bro. I'll be there Saturday. I'll bring my records." You feel me? Bro, I got to the party. I didn't know it was going to be packed. It was packed. Okay. So I walk in. I had a big lump in my throat. I swallowed this big, huge lump, lady. Like, oh, it's packed. I thought it was going to be like my basement, not that many people. Da, da, da. It was full. So he's playing, crowd going crazy. He's like, oh, he get on the microphone. Oh, Ron Carroll has stepped in. He just stepped in,
Oh,
y'all. He's here. Oh, bro. I'm like, oh, snap. Now he announced me on the mic. I was like, no.
So the announcement. Yo, look who walked up in here. Ron Carroll. You know, like in New York and Chicago were tough with their crowds. From the other school, because you're coming from the other side. Like,
Yes, bro. Yes, bro. Dude, let me tell you something. And this is when they had belt drive turntables. Belt drive.
So that means that the platter, when you touch it, if you hit it too hard, it would go bang.
Oh, like it's going. Bro, let me tell you. I walked up. I'm like, okay. I'm nervous. I walked up. So I put the record on. I said, whatever, man, just get off. Like move over. So I get kind of pumped. I'm like, move over. Why, Lenny, when I grabbed the needle to put it on the record, I was shaking so hard with nervousness. I couldn't even lay the needle down on the record. It took me a minute. Like I was shaking like I had a nervous condition.
He had Tourette's, everybody. Could you imagine?
Yes,
he's got Tourette's. The needle's just like dragging around in his hand.
Right.
Oh, Lord help us.
Man, I was shaking. I'm like, oh, man. I said, gather yourself, bro. The other record's almost about to go off.
Do you remember what record that was playing? Like, what were you getting ready to drop? Do you remember any of that?
Dude, the guy was playing Pipeline.
Oh!
Da, 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 da. Okay. Yes. So I was about to play Sing Sing.
Oh.
So I'm trying to put on Sing Sing, dude. And those belt drives, the pitch control is not steady at all, dude. I finally get the needle on the record. I'm doing the pitch. Dude, I just slammed it in because it was just going so fast. And I just slammed it in. Everybody looked at me like, what? I'm like, no, wait, just a little.
Hang tight.
Hold on. Just a little jitters right now. I got a little jitters. Hold on. Put it this way. The guy crushed me.
Oh.
He crushed me.
But that's the kind of story we want. We don't want to hear you came victorious because we knew it couldn't be like that. We knew you had to be real about it.
Exactly, man. Exactly. So I was like, okay. And he went through the whole school. Ron's garbage. He ain't no real DJ. The whole school, Ron's garbage. Terrible, bro. Terrible, bro.
And that's killer.
But I love it.
That's killer to a young guy starting out.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, just take your wind out of your sails. You suck, Ron. What?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't suck. You're fighting people now. I don't suck.
Yes, Ron. Yes, sir.
You don't even know what you're doing, man. Just coming because they're hearing it, because it's going around the school. It's the worst thing you want. Oh, man.
Yes, it goes from the school to the neighborhood. Now the whole neighborhood's like, yeah, I heard you suck, bro. I heard he gave it to you. I'm like, oh, snap. Yeah, it was something. It was something. But those are the lumps and the bumps that you need. You need those realities. Always those checks. You need them. And it grounds you more and more as you grow. So at the end, it was terrible for me. But of course, when you get older and you look back, you say, you know what? I appreciate that. That moment made me tighten myself up to the max. So I appreciate all those moments, man.
That's a moment that you'll never forget. So so now we understand that the basic parties were the jams.
Yes.
We got to keep this moving now for you. Where do you roll from there? Because you're working on your skills and you're also working on, I don't know if you're dreaming about producing or any of that stuff yet. You're still probably in the DJ mode, right?
Yeah, when I was younger, it was just all about, at the time, being good as a DJ, being respected as one. So that was the only focus. And I heard about people making tracks like Steve Poindexter, um, and things like that. And I could mean, if you want me to fast forward, I could speed up through this part and get to that part
No,
because
no,
that part
no.
is
We want to get all of it. You give us your version. Tell us how it rolls, because nobody's never heard any of this stuff from you before.
yeah. So when it comes to the basement parties, let me say how I began to conquer that. Pretty much once I got my skills up to par, I linked up with another guy at my school, and I forgot his name, but his family didn't have a lot. They were poor, but they lived at a house like about 2 blocks up from mine on another street. And I've always been this visionary. I see things and I just see it in a bigger way. I've always been like that. So I said, you know what, bro? We went by his house one day. We went to the basement and I just saw like an open canvas. I said, bro, let's do something in this basement. Let's do a party. And he said, really, Ron? I said, listen, man, we both don't have that much money. Let's just do it. Let's try to make some money out of it. Let's do what we want to do. So at the time, my other brother was in wood shop at the school. So in wood shop, he was making double 18 scoops, base cabinets
Oh, wow.
in the wood shop. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I told my brother, I said, when you done with those scoops, we gonna need them for the new spot. He said, the new spot? I was like, yeah, I found a spot. He said, okay, cool. And then he finished about a week later. I said, we're gonna bring him to the new spot. He said, where? I said, it's up the street. He came, he saw it. He had his boys with a truck bring him over. We took him in the basement. I said, we're gonna throw a party this weekend. Now, Lenny, we used to make our own flyers, okay? And the way we did them, we used to cut letters out of magazines, paste them on a paper with a picture, and like take a photocopy of it, press it down on the screen, and make a photocopy of it.
Now,
And
everybody,
this is how we.
listen to that carefully. We call that ghetto technology.
Yes.
We all did that because nobody had any money. Nobody had money back then to do it.
Thank you. We didn't have money, so we used to go to the school, the copier at school.
You don't use their resources.
Yeah.
Use everything you can. We use your copy. We need to make a copy. You didn't mention you're going to make 300 or 400 Xerox copies, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we did 300 to 400 Xerox copies, and brother, let me tell you, I went around that school with the utmost confidence. Like, yo, we got the new spot. This is gonna be the hot spot in the neighborhood. You got to check us out on this Saturday. So we threw the party, right? And by that time, I was pretty decent. The sound was hitting. Everybody's like, oh, this is the spot. I say, yeah. So we threw about 3 parties there. And then I had to name it because it was just the spot on the block, right? So I went into club mode. I said, we going to call this the Banging Enterprise because we bang the box up in here and it's the enterprise of the bang. And he was like, yeah, I like that. Lenny, I didn't went and got a dude that was a tagger in the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
I said, bro, I want you to come tag the wall in the basement. He said, all right. He came through. He tagged Banging Enterprise on the wall. Boom. I said, this is about to be official. We had a smoke room where we had the curtain pulled. You want to smoke your little weed and, drink. You do it in that little room. Everybody party outside. Moral of the story is the place became so famous. Gene Hunt played there. Lil Lewis played there.
Oh my God. Wait a minute. I want to ask a major question.
Yeah.
Somebody wrote Steve Poindexter. Is that the person's house?
No, it was not Steve Poindexter's house.
Okay.
It wasn't his house.
Okay.
It was another guy. Steve lived.
All right.
Yeah, he didn't live in that area, but no, it wasn't Steve's house.
Okay, so
But
I wanted to clarify because some people are writing Steve down. Okay, so the second question was, whose parents was around in this basement of the house? I don't understand.
okay,
How was that
so his
paid? That's what I want
so
to
his,
hear.
so his parents, right? His parents were like those parents that drank and smoked. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like they didn't care as long as we weren't fighting. You know, they were upstairs smoking and drinking themselves. We were downstairs having a party. And I mean, when I tell you, Lil Lewis came with two 707 reel to reels and rocked that basement completely out, bro. Like unbelievable.
I know he's a
Ferris
great DJ.
Thomas, all of them.
Great DJ, Lil Lewis. I know that. I've heard him play. Great.
Yes, yes. So that's how popular it became.
I can't get over this. I can't believe that I'm hearing about a basement party.
Yes,
How many
sir.
people would you fit into this basement? How big was this basement?
Okay, so we could only get like 150, 175 tight in the basement. The reason we got closed down is because when we had Lil Lewis, there was a line that went all the way up the block, bro.
What? You actually
Dude, there
had
was a line.
you had a line like a nightclub line.
Yes, sir. And the police was like,
What's going on?
okay, we know y'all been doing this, but this right here is like ridiculous because people were smoking loud and drinking while they're waiting on the block. People are like calling the police. You know what I mean?
Yo, we got vagrant issues on this block.
Exactly.
I want these kids off my block.
Exactly. And after that, we had to shut it. But it was an amazing experience, bro.
How long did this
Amazing.
go for? For how long did you do these parties? Please search for part 2 of this podcast on the platform you're watching or listening to. And please do not forget to follow us.